Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Paint Table. It's my weekly show where you see what I got done, what I'm working on, and what is coming up. So this week, painted some more terrain and models, but this time for Atomic Mass Games Marvel Crisis Protocol, getting some terrain finished, as well as my Guardians of the Galaxy. So let's take a look at what got done and what is coming up. So first things first, here is my painted pile for this week. Starting with my Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, with the exception of Ghost Rider, who is mostly black and dark colors, all of these were primed with Citadel Wraithbone and painted with contrast paints. So that's some some Flesh Terror for the cape there, and then like everything was highlighted up afterwards again. And in yellow, I think it is. Snakebite for the boots and leather, a bit of Black Templar for the legs, and then that is Apothecary White, I think it is. And then everything highlighted up through various tones that kind of complemented that for old Star-Lord. I actually did Dark Oath Flesh as the base coat for Groot, just to give him kind of a red kind of undertone, and then dry brushed and highlighted him up through, I believe it's, not Agros Dunes, Xandru Dust, and then a bit of Screaming Skull for the finishing touches there. The Gamora was Apothecary White. I believe it's Warpstone Glow for the skin, and then Black Templar for all of the like undersuit, basically. Highlighted up through their various colors. I'm actually really happy with how her face turned out in contrast with her armor and stuff like that. She's a wonderful sculpt, actually. Rocket, similar sort of thing. Basilicanum Gray for the gun. Various browns, I think it was Wildwood and maybe Agros Dunes, maybe even just Skeleton Horde for the fur and stuff like that. And then I think the back there is Gorgrunta for his jumpsuit, and then everything highlighted back up too. I actually really like the Rocket miniature. He's super cool, the Rocket and Groot. And then I think Shyish Purple for the base coat for base coat for Nebula, Black Templar for the batons, Space Wolf Gray I think for the skin. And then again, all kinds of highlights. Now the basing, except for Nebula, which was Lead Belcher, and then like various washes, and that's actually Gorgrunta Fur for the brick there. I did a whole bunch of base coats of, what's it called? Scab and Blight Dinge. It's probably having like 35 years of paint names memorized, is I don't know which ones are current or not. So Scab and Blight Dinge, a thin down wash of Agrex Earthshade, I think, for the tones, and then it was blended up with a bit more, I think it was Eshin Gray, and then a slight dry brush of whatever Codex Gray is called. And then for Ghost Rider, started from a black undercoat, same basing technique. I used just the Wraithbone like paint on base paint for all the flames, and then did them with Griff Charger orange, highlighted up through, orange and yellow, basically Fire Dragon Bright, I think, and I think it's actually like the Imperial Fist Edge color. I can't remember what it's called. And then just like basic like metallic work there for all the metals. So it's Iron Blaster, Lead Belcher. With some no gloss. Corvus Black for the leathers, bit of dried bark for the belts and stuff like that. And then everything just highlighted. Skeleton Horde actually for the face there, and then highlighted through, I think, Screaming Skull for that sweet Spirit of Vengeance. Love this miniature, love him in the game. Super fun to play with. And then the terrain, I built in 3 sections. So I actually primed Rust-Oleum Red-Brown Primer for the barricades, the Jersey barriers there, and then just dry brush them a bunch of things, because like they're old and beat up. So it's terrain. You dry brush, you get a big brush and you dry brush. I used Black Templar as a contrast over top there, and then did the lights on top. This was spray primed, not like a cheapo primer, like not expensive Wraithbone. I'll save that for miniatures. It was just like a cheapo like beige, and then contrasts for the windows. And the borders of everything. And then to give it the contrast, I dry brushed it white, but then washed in like a thin down Baneblade brown into the recesses there. So I kind of did it reverse. I like primed it lighter than I wanted the recesses to be, and then painted the recesses in with a thin down like paint. These were all just primed with a Rust-Oleum, I think it's nickel, like dark nickel, and then just glued on afterwards. So you can save a lot of time with terrain, and then just the same thing. This is actually the primer color that the Jersey barrier started off for the oil drums and stuff. You can save a ton of time just leaving like sub-assemblies and then priming and assembling it afterwards. So like the steps and the air duct there were left off and then done separately and then put together afterwards. And it's like a huge, it just saves you having to like giant panel paint things or do like vastly different colors on models. It saved a ton of time. And I got a couple pieces left from that terrain kit, but I wanted to do some new terrain for my games to Leland today, or well, yesterday when you're watching this, today for the fun of you today. And this is a nice big size 4 piece of terrain. I would say that of the kits I've purchased, obviously the basic New York City terrain kit is great, but the construction site kit and the cosmic kit are my favorites. I really want a cosmic kit 2.0. I want some new fresh terrain for my cosmic table. Maybe I'll get a Quinjet because it's kind of cosmic-y. Like there's one in Thor Ragnarok that's like parked around, and that would kind of give you a reason to have like, you know, regular Avengers and stuff like that out in space. I really hope they do the Milano. That'd be cool if they did the Milano. Here's what's left. I have to do the little excavator here. It's like almost a Bobcat, if you want a name brand there. So Bobcat, I'll probably do it in sub-assemblies, doing the body and the arms separately and then putting them on afterwards. And then the same goes for this guy right here. I'll leave the wheels off for everything at the very least for the cement mixer. And that'll finish up my Crisis Protocol terrain stuff. That's literally these are the only Crisis Protocol things. I have a couple of New York City terrain kit things too that didn't come in the starter set to paint. But for the most part, I got everything done again. So it's like, what do I do next? And if you watched yesterday, I've kicked off my ITS dojo with Jordan going live. It's actually completed. We've played all the games. So I'm kind of excited to put some new things in. I really want to try a Varangian Guard to go with my O12, maybe doing a Starmada Shona combo with the Varangian Guard SMG, and then painting my Fuzzbots to go with my O12/Starmada because they are super cool. I got the Copperbots too, but the Fuzzbots are in the new plastic, which is just way easier to build and paint. Same with the Probots. I'm very tempted to do OSSS now to go with my O12, like do like 2 kind of post-humany things. And the new Probots are out, and I really want an EvoBot, and I really want a TR Combi Bot, and I've got my Naga Hacker Lieutenant, who I love. I just need to get a NCO, because I gave all my Aleph stuff originally to Owen for his OSSS, and I had like bits and pieces lying around that were like doubles and stuff. I think I gave him my NCO, what are they called? Yadu with the HMG, and I really want an Yadu NCO. So that's all for future projects. Probably I have to pick a new army. I do want to round out a little bit my O12, so the Fuzzbot and the Varangian Guard will probably get painted sooner rather than later, just so I can play more games with it. But I want to do a new army, and I'm real tempted for the new Morats. I do love painting Morats. I have some beautifully painted Morats, some Rodox actually in my my army for my Onyx, and I'm tempted to do new ones. Tempted to just like roll out a bunch of those hex bases and do new sexy Morats to go with my Rodox. Then if you are going to Adepticon next week, you will have a chance to grab these. Now these are the 2 halves of the Steel Rift 2-player starter set that I wrote the rules for, and they'll be available at the Death Ray Designs booth. I'm going to paint mine up so we can do a Let's Play next week for you guys to check out, and it's the Authority and the Freelancers. Really cool multi-part posable 6mm mechs, and the game is done and dusted and laid out and ready for digital. Hopefully the digital will go live this week at the same time as Adepticon, because I really want to. It's waiting for approvals right now for the host site, and then you guys can get your hands on it. But I'm pumped. These will be the official minis. Of course, you can use any minis you want, but these are the official minis from Death Ray for Steel Rift. And I believe the box that's Adepticon will come with a free digital copy of the rules for you to check out too. So go check them out at the booth next week, and you can get some very cool multi-part posable mechs. There's tons of extra bits in the box too for like weapons options, posability. These are just the way I made them, but you can make them in almost infinite number of ways. And you get a heavy, a medium, and a light for each faction. Or if you want to mix and match and do your own rogue like corporation or freelancer detachment or whatever, make your own faction, you can have all 6 mechs be in the same size, and those HEVs can basically be like one faction instead. This week also marked the end of the 2nd edition playthrough for 40k Through the Ages, and so we are on to 3rd edition, which means I need to dig out this bad boy right here and these two launch codexes for the first installment of the next series, which is 3rd edition 40k. I have all the models I need. I got to start building and paying them. I got to find an opponent that wants to play Dark Eldar with 1,000 points of old school Dark Eldar that I'm going to paint up. And I want to update. Obviously, I'm taking the Flesh Terrors to the next level, so it'll be the Star Set miniatures, which means a Land Speeder, a badass squad of Tactical Marines, and then a couple more pieces, probably the Command Squad and Captain for the Space Marines, to take them and launch them into 3rd edition for that next wave of 40k Through the Ages. You got one bonus episode a second that you'll see in 2 weeks between now and then, so there's a bit of time, and then we're going to move to this probably best remembered and most popular edition of 40k that lasted for 4 editions. It was 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 that this core rule set basically stayed the same for. And so you go, another On the Paint table done, 6 models, a bunch trained painted, lots more stuff put together, and lots of projects on the go. Bit of housekeeping. We're going to be doing the thank you table for Coldest Night at the end of March. Coldest Night is come and gone. We raised almost $1,500, but you can still get involved if you want between now. The pledge manager stays open, or pledge the crowdfunding fundraising site stays open until the end of the month, and I don't want to do anything until it closes, basically, in case somebody comes in at the last minute. And then, yeah, I won't be at Adepticon this year, but my friends at Death Ray and other various people you've seen on the channel will be wandering around, so go say hi. And yeah, go check out the Steel Rift pre-release, or like white box release that we're doing at the Death Ray Designs booth, and you can get a demo there and check out the models for yourself. So big thanks for watching. We'll see you next week for On the Paint table. Tuna Mash. Have a good night. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look through the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My 2 kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job so I can always maximize my time with them. If you want to support me continuing to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Death Ray Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching. It really does help out, and happy gaming.